Hi, Exotical Barbies. I want to talk about how your own mother can be jealous that you're an Exotical Barbie and even try to live vicariously through you. So, this is from my experience as well. Is that when your mom, right? Like, let's say, for example, your mom is black, dad is white, or your dad is a whole different ethnicity. Your mom is like either she don't have to either actually be black, by the way, because I seen this not only with black moms, I see it with white moms, see it with Asian moms. I seen this with different races of mothers. Okay, but one thing I noticed is that if you're like biracial or multiracial, or let's say your mom's biracial but you happen to be multiracial because your dad is biracial, whatever, because I noticed that too, is that sometimes, like, not with all Exotical Barbies, but I know with a lot of Exotical Barbies, their mother can be jealous. I'm also going to make a video later about how they use religion as a weapon in competence to make you feel bad for who you are, but not in this video. So one thing I noticed is that, number one, they try to make you hide your beauty. So meaning, like, let's say you have, like, let's say you're in religion right now, right? Or you happen to be like not religious or whatever, you didn't grow up in a religious family, and your mom is like, oh no, you can't wear your hair down because to make you look grown. And she's talking about like how your 3C hair make you look grown if you wear it down, but reality it doesn't, because you're literally like 12 years old and you're trying to like wear your hair down, like, you know what I'm saying? Or they'd be like, oh, you're going to confuse the man. That's all. But meanwhile, they help your cousins perm their hair to kind of get the texture how your hair texture is. And then they literally encourage them to wear their hairstyle like that, but not like yours. Another thing is that they police doing your hair. Like, they always want to do your hair, not you do your hair, because when you do your hair, apparently it's like provocative, or you're not doing it right, even though you are doing it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, let's say, like, because I have seen it. You know, Christy and Milan in that movie that she did with, what's his name? Who's that guy that Mariah Carey married? That boy? What's his name? Nick Cannon. Yeah, sorry. So remember that movie that they did? I forgot the movie called, so sorry. But her hairstyle in that movie, remember when we first saw her, how it was like nice, curly down, pretty. I just seen some moms that did not want their daughter to wear their hair like that because they apparently look seductive to men. Yeah. Another thing is that they constantly make fun of you for your skin tone. So let's say, like, for me, I know this happened for me, is that this is either they do it or they allow others to make fun of you for your skin shade. Because I remember how my own relative had sat there and allowed her friend to sit there and laugh and make fun of me and call me yellow bone. Yeah, she was not the best relative to say. Or also, one thing I noticed is that they'd be like, oh, since if you're mixed, why aren't you supposed to have that good shade? How come you're not light skinned? You know what I'm saying? Or you constantly bully for that? Or you always have to prove your side, if that makes sense. Like, for me, you always had to prove that you love Black history. Like if you even go as far as be like, well, I want to acknowledge, like, for example, my Cherokee side, right? They will get heavily upset with you, even to the point that they'd be like, oh, you're anti-Black. How come you don't want to know about Black history? You hate being Black and whatnot. When that's not the case, you just decide to acknowledge your other side. And by the way, unpopular opinion, if you mix with Black, you do not owe the Black community anything. You don't owe them anything. There's nowhere where it's written where you said you had to owe them something. You do not owe them anything. Okay? Nor do you have to try to fit in with them. You don't have to do anything for them. In fact, you don't, I mean, if you don't want to learn the history or whatever, I don't care and whatnot. I mean, I love learning history, so I love learning African American history, other people's history as well. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of them be like, oh, how come you didn't know this? How come you didn't know? When I say learn about African American history, I don't mean, like, for example, like, you know everything. You just know, like, the founding, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense, because I don't want to say, like, you had to be ignorant. But anyways, yeah, you don't know anything. Another thing is that they police on what you call yourself. For example, if your mom is white and you have black dad and whatnot, and I have seen this firsthand. Actually, let me give you the story time. It's a real quick one. My English teacher, she was a racist. I remember how because she had biracial children. Her husband is black. He left her, thank God. And if you want more of a story time, my English teacher, please let me know. But anyways, so basically, to sum it up, she said in class, she said, well, my son claimed that he's black. And she said all proud. She's like, yay, he did it. And then she's like, but my daughter claims she's white. I don't even know why she'd do that. If I was her, I would not do. So they would get mad because since they live vicariously through you, they want you to be called, by what they want you to call yourself, if that makes sense. So some parents get mad at you if you be like, oh, I don't want to be called black, I want to be called biracial. And they be like, oh, so you hate your blackness? So you hate your blackness? No. If you love call yourself multiracial or biracial, does not mean you hate any of your race. That means you love all parts. And even if you go as, oh yeah, I want to identify as black, or I identify as white, or whatever, you know, that doesn't mean you hate your other side. That's the side you want to identify as, if that makes sense. Meaning, for example, like, let's say like you have Native American and have Argentina, right? But let's say like, oh yeah, well, I am more close, or I feel most at home with my Native American side. That doesn't mean you hate your Argentinian side. It just means like, well, I just love my Native American side. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say you have Persian and have Mexican, right? And you be like, oh, well, I choose to identify with my Mexican side. You know, I say same thing. And many people get upset because they try to, one thing I noticed that with narcissistic moms, is that they try to be like, well, your other side won't accept you the way our community do. That's one thing I noticed from black communities, that they try that, especially with the black mothers, is that they try to be like oh, well, you know, your Persian side will accept you, you know, but our black side will, you know, our black side will, trying to make them guilt trip them to go on with our black identity, which in that case is not true. You know, and when I say this, what I mean is that any community can throw you in and out. It's very possible. But there's some parts of the community, you know, I call them subject communities, because there's some subject communities that accept you either way, you know what I'm saying? So, because I remember I was gaslit for a long time, but I realized that the community that they said that hated me, they actually love me more and actually respect me more than the black community subject. The reason I say subject black community is because not the whole entire black community, but the only small part of the community I was in, you know what I'm saying, had thrown me in and out, in and out. So that's what I'm trying to say. Also too, with that being said, is that they try really hard, like, you know how I don't know how to phrase this, but here I go. There's a difference between making your child be more, how should I say it, black, or be more like this and that, the other, rather than, hey, this is our culture, you know, this is what we do, and not embracing your culture, if that makes sense. Like, because I want, like, for example, let's say you have a black mom and white dad, right? And she's like, oh, well, you need to be more black. You need to add more black, because I don't want to know once you have been acting like more on your right side and whatnot. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, so why did you sleep with a white man? Like, that makes no sense. You want to have biracial kids. You knew if you had biracial kids that they most likely embrace both cultures or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But instead, you over here like trying to convert them to your supremacy. That's not right. Now, difference is from embracing, for example, let's say you have like a Mexican mom and white dad, right? She's like, hey, I want my kid to learn Spanish. So when they grow up, and if they ever want to go back to Mexico or talk to other kids that are Mexican and whatnot, whatever, difference is they want to embrace their culture, you know? And so she tried to speak Spanish to them, you know, show them Spanish shows, trying to make them embrace it rather than being like, I'm going to force it on you. Yeah, I don't want you to be like part of your right side, you know, try to, you know, embrace that whole side, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not only, that's what I'm talking about. And there's nothing wrong if you want your kids to embrace that culture, embrace that side, whatever. But I know it's just weird how you try to do the one drop rule with them and make them do that. And I know narcissistic fathers tend to do this as well, but I'm mostly talking from the spectrum of women who are mostly in their child's life, who are narcissistic rather than fathers. I will make a video though about narcissistic fathers to their exotical daughters, because I have, and to their exotical sons, because I've seen this a lot. Oh, speaking of which, narcissistic exotical moms, they do this, but they really don't care. Is that they, even though they slept, for example, I'm using the black one, white dad one again, even though they know they have a biracial child, they, for some reason, don't want you to lose your blackness. And they will get upset if you get with a white woman or a white man. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, you ruined the bloodline. Or our children are going to be quadroons or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they start getting upset and getting angry because you didn't follow their plan inside their head. Another thing is that I noticed for narcissistic moms or their exotical daughters is that they tend to get upset subliminally. I know that's probably the wrong word, but I don't know any other word right now. If you don't, how should I say it? Follow their game plan, if that makes sense. Like, for example, let's say you have a dark-skinned black mom, right? You have a white dad, and your black mom gets upset because you didn't come out as light-skinned. And before you come in the conversation, say, oh, they don't get upset. I have seen some that got upset. Okay? Let's not try to play this game because I've seen some that was upset. Or they hate that when you join teams, like, for example, let's say you want to do crocheting instead of the step team one night, and they get upset. They be like, oh, there goes your white side. You need to be more black. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm missing more, but please comment down below. No matter, what's I going to say? Does your narcissistic mom does this to you as an exotical? Do you notice she does other things? Also, too, I have another story time about these things. But yeah, let me know. Comment down below. Like and subscribe for some more. Bye, Exotical Barbies.